So today we're gonna go ahead with the mystery method. I'm actually fairly late to record compared to yesterday. It is like 10 a.m. and yesterday it's been like 7 a.m. And I'm in general a bit slower, maybe due to me working out a bit today. Even though today is my quote unquote cheat day, which is like, okay, I'm gonna cheat and kind of eat food that other people would just consider normal eating. Quite. And yeah, I don't know, I feel good about it. You know, I'm actually always very happy when I'm having my Sunday and having my good meals. But anyway, this is not what the episode is going to be about, because it's going to be about picking up girls. Quite, you know, to really simplify it. Chapter 7A3, male to female interest. The frame is the underlying meaning. It's the context in everything you say. The frame supplies meaning to the content. A woman may try and get you to jump through a hoop. The AFC, average frustrated jump, will fall for it and jump through. Bait the target into innocuous little loops. Over time, as she falls into your frame, those hoops can become larger and more frequent. In social dynamics, this process is called compliance momentum. Role reversal. One of the best frames to use, and should be your reality, is that you are a higher value and she is chasing you. Role reversal line examples. Don't think you're gonna get something because you're buying me this drink. Wow, are you always this forward? I don't wanna rush things. Hey, hands off the merchandise, this isn't free, you know. I'll be the judge of that. You just want me for my body. Yeah, if you're lucky. I'm not ready to be in a relationship right now. I swear all you girls do is think about one thing. Oh my god, are you groping me? You're a really nice girl. Isn't this just, well, that guy over there looks perfect for you. I don't even know you. Let's just be friends. And I do have to say, like, I think even though, you know, it always, and it is something that I've been talking about in the last episode as well, and the one before, like, it always feels like not right. It always feels like, well, should he really try to be this type of person? Should he really try to be this kind of person? And I'm actually never sure. I really am never sure whether this is something that you should be doing, this is something you should be, or this is somebody you should be, since it kind of feels, I don't know, like it feels strange. It feels like, it just feels strange. It just feels like you should not be acting like that, I guess. And I mean, it is just a very difficult thing, but yeah, sometimes it just does not feel right, you know, to be maybe this manipulative or something, you know, whether this is a word or not, I don't actually know. Create the illusion that you are the prize, soon you will be. What are some things about you that would make me want to get to know you better? If a magician could make you anything you want to be, what would it be? You can't say princess. Who are you? What are your 3 best qualities? The most spontaneous thing you've done. Are you a good cook? Good back rubs? Adventurous? Passionate? ? Some people say they're open-minded and adventurous, but they are all talk. I mean, I just get the point. I really get where they are heading towards. Do I really just... No. Complicated thing. I do want to highlight that, but I don't want to highlight the whole fucking thing. And this one as well. Be very subtle about screening her without making her feel like it. Very important, I think, you know, because we don't want to be mean, and I at least don't want to be mean in any case. But yeah, kino escalation. Kino is kinesthetic, or kinesthetic refers to sense of touch. In this case, physical touch. Guys with game create a natural flow of kino that leads all the way to sex. I see. Periodically, a window of opportunity will arise to escalate. If you miss the window, you will have demonstrated lower value. Forms of kino, arm in arm, hands touching, embracing from behind, kissing, hand on knee, sitting on lap, arm around waist, smelling hair, and non-standard touching. Touching guys and girls is one way alpha males like you demonstrate their dominance. I see, but I never ever do this. You know, I was touched before by women, and actually very interesting. You know, I've been talking about it once. I do have one pair of pants that is complimented by people, especially girls, so fucking often. Really, I'm not just trying to be like somebody and whatnot. But it is very interesting because I thought, well, why actually? It is a check pattern, and I really don't know whether this is actually kind of how you say it, but it is like this chessboard patterned piece of pants, like black and white, with those belt alternative things that you just put on top of your shoulders, if you know what I mean. And it is having some kind of a suit pants stylish fit. And I was complimented for it quite often, to be honest. And there was one girl, she actually was trying to sell me some charity thing, which is also something that I've been talking about before. And I naturally really try to be the nicest person I can be by smiling, by joking, by whatnot. And also by using a tone of voice that is a little bit more nice, I would say. And yes, she was approaching me, and I was like, I just really don't want to do this today, and something like that. Smiling and just really trying to not let them feel bad, because I know quite all people are trying to get rid of them. And I just want to be the nice person. I just want to be the person that yeah. And I'm also wishing them a really great day most often, because I really want them to have a great day. But of course, or anyway, she was just then touching me, and then saying, well, I really like your pants and stuff like that. And then I thought, like, well, that's pretty interesting. That's really interesting. That I don't know. Like, I really felt, because I knew about that, the whole touching thing, whatnot, that she was interested. I assume, at least. I could have also been blind or something, or blinded. I don't know. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. If you sense any hesitation, metaphorically take 2 steps back with escalation. It is the man's job to both escalate and also resist. Use IOIS and IODS and other push-pull, hold-cold dynamics to create tension, build comfort, and demonstrate value. Indicator of interest and indicator of disinterest, as far as I remember. Kino pinching is an expression of growing attraction between two people. X, pushing a girl's shoulder and she pushes back. It's an indicator as well as a generator of attraction. Compliance testing. Sometimes I feel like I'm just stuck in time, when I'm just reading and I feel like 10 minutes are passing by. Well, anyway. Compliance testing. Request your target to do something for you. If she complies, it is an I ping and also creates attraction. Second, you have escalated and she is more comfortable with your touch. Third, her frame has been further influenced and absorbed by your own. This is, by the way, something that I recently did subconsciously. But I have seen this before. I've seen it before, being like, well, could you please get me something? Could you please hold this? Could you please whatnot? Of course, just not all the fucking time. I don't think that this is the point. But yeah, I think it just really does make sense. Being like, I don't know, it feels like more of a connection then. I don't actually know why. I don't actually know what my fucking point is, to some degree as well. But yeah. Reward her with an IOI, but immediately. Or intermittently. Yeah, not immediately, but intermittently. The more value you have, the more she'll permit you to escalate your compliance testing. I see. Compliance momentum. Even though I do have to say, I think touching is something that's really a big thing. So I wouldn't, even though, touching is something that quite often works also with male people being like, how are you? And just touching the shoulder. It is, have I done? Yeah, okay, I have done this consciously sometimes as well. But yeah, it's not necessarily something that a lot of people are doing. And I think it also is going to confuse a lot of people if you do this, if you just touch somebody. And, but yeah, I don't know. I think it is a big thing. And I wouldn't necessarily overdo it with it, first of all. And second of all, just really take your time and then do it, because since I believe, this is my belief, I believe that it is quite a big thing and it's not like just, I don't know, a little thingy thing or whatnot. But yeah, anyway. Compliance momentum. Someone who complies will continue to comply. The compliance threshold is the point of the interaction when she realizes that she has more fun if she complies. I see. And I think it is a very good point. Like, why then should I be a different person? Why then should I be different or act different if it keeps me from having fun? Like, what's the point in that? Once this happens, you have established control over the frame. Compliment from a screening frame, not a begging frame. Compliment her style, her poise. What is a poise? I don't know what a fucking poise is. Balance, grace, gracefulness, presence. I see. Her energy or something unique about her outfit she chose. Learn to notice things. Yeah. I think it is very important to be specific. Being like, you look very beautiful today. It is something that every fucking body is gonna say. But being like, I just really like I don't know. I really like the watch that you're wearing. I really like those shoes. They combine extremely well with the pants. Do you have, some experience in just clothing and experiencing in styling? And first of all, this is a compliment. Second of all, it is very specific. And third of all, it is, I think, just driving the conversation, which is always an important thing. Knowing what to talk about, at least at my point of view, is fucking important. Learn to notice things. Yes. Try giving a compliment and follow with a screening question. Or you can follow with constructive criticism, a powerful way to nag and DHV. Don't mention her looks. Yeah, you look very ugly today. What do they, by the way, mean with screening? Showing of a film, video, or television. I see. Screening in terms, I think, analyzing, isn't it? And follow with a screening question. I think this is, try giving a compliment and then follow with a screening question. I think this is just what I did, being like, I really like your shoes. Do you have any experience in styling? Maybe, I don't know, like I'm just assuming. Try complimenting her in a way that directs her to behave in a way you want her to and to play the role that's useful to you. You seem to be very nice. The thing is, and this is something that I've learned in another book, the thing is, I went through so many fucking book summaries, I don't even know where I'm having this information from, but it reminds me of being like, you just really seem to be a nice girl and something, and possibilities are there that she is then also going to be this nice person, or this nice girl, or this nice whatever. And yeah, that's my point. Quite. And being like, well, actually, kind of, and I don't know if this is the right explanation for that, but setting certain goals for the person. Being like, I know that you are a very peaceful and graceful person. You really seem to be like one. And then this person feels like, well, I actually want to be that. And it also should be something that people want to be. It's not like, okay, I thought, not really I thought, because this means that, this person is not, but I believe that you are a piece of shit. Of course, I know they're not going to be happy about that, but being like, I feel like that, or just, not really I feel like, but because this is also not that direct, which is in that case just not that good. I know that you're a good person. I know that you're a graceful person. I know that you're a nice person. I know, and whatnot, Bait, hook, reel, release. Make the woman demonstrate higher value to you. Bait her into telling you interesting things about herself. I see. Let's actually... it is such an interest... I like social engineering. I think this is just what I like. It's not necessarily about just getting women. It's maybe not necessarily about communicating either, or whatever. I think it is about just, social engineering. And, well, it is actually about communicating. And I actually like communicating, and like communicating consciously and with purpose. It is a cool thing. It really is. It makes life pretty interesting, and or it can make life pretty interesting when you really indeed just keep in mind what you're communicating with your body language, with your verbals, with your tonality, and all sorts of things. It is a very important thing, and actually very interesting thing. Not necessarily important. It depends on what you're up to and what you're doing job-wise. But yeah, Chapter 8, Conversation. Why is it gone? Well, 3 types of comfort building locations. So C1 is any location within the meeting location. C2, any location separate from meeting and sex locations. And C3, any location within the sex location. Be talkative. The talkative person just gets laid way more often. The secret is to put yourself in a talkative mood. Talking is a logistical tool. Another benefit is that it occupies the conscious mind. Commonality. People tend to be more attractive to those do they consider to be similar to them in some way. Yes, this is also why mirroring the body language of another person is something that can really work well. But I do want to point out, just don't overdo it. If this person is moving and you move immediately as well, don't do that. It's people are gonna notice. But yeah, still do that. Do that. The more you have in common with each other, the more she will rationalize that this was meant to be. When people share vulnerabilities, it demonstrates and creates an emotional connection. This is a powerful comfort builder when done at the right time. Yeah, it shouldn't be like, it's about partying and drinking and then you suddenly being like, well, my mother died just 3 years ago or some shit. Which I hope is not the case for you, by the way. I hope that everyone is healthy and safe. But I don't know. I think, timing really does matter then, and also just the situation quite. The secret is to embrace your vulnerability and still be unaffected by it. When you punished bad behavior with an IOD, make sure to follow it up with an easy hoop and reward afterward. People are willing to work harder to preserve an existing investment than they are to make a new one. Make your targets jealous as a regular part of your C1 and C2 game through the use of pivots and pause. What is pivots? Spindle, hinge, pill, kingpin, central. What is pause? Well, anyway. Demonstrations are always more effective than verbal insinuations. When asked what you do, ground your reality with theirs by telling a story of your progression from childhood or youth years to where you are today. Telling your backstory and progression to where you are today is called grounding. How to answer the question, who am I? One answer, you are what you repeatedly do. Figure out what you are by who you are by what you do repeatedly. Something you can say in a word or two. Use questions like, what were you like as a teenager? The game is played in comfort. It is necessary to develop a wide conversation report. Interesting. Chapter 9, mid-game and end-game. Kissing and kino are comfort builders, not seduction. A good rule of thumb is to not bother kissing until you have 3 IOIs. Or, what is it? Indicators of interest, yeah. Just going for the kiss without indicating your intentions can sometimes lead to embarrassment. Going from one comfort location to another is called jumping. Bounce is to move your people to another venue that same night. Time bridge is making plans to see her at another time. The number is never the point. It is always for the time bridge and to lead to the close, aka sex. Girls tend to be flaky creatures. Not only you, but friends, family, and themselves. Just keep calling and put them in rotation. What the fuck? Okay. The emotional resistance that occurs right before sex is called last-minute resistance. What is your job to ease? Her through this uncontrollable emotion should it arise? If your game is tight, last-minute resistance will be greatly reduced as an issue. Therefore, examine your basic game beforehand so that you just don't have to deal with it. If last-minute resistance seems unsurmountable, do a freeze out. And don't look affected, just act as if your arousal circuits have been shut off. And then, the other thing comes again, the whole, okay, I have invested into this, so I really also want to have it, and being like, well, I also don't actually feel like it today, and being, even though I just don't like this game, being like, okay, it's fine, I just don't need anybody. It is a piece of shit move, to be honest. But I just kind of know that it works. This is the problem behind a lot of things, But yeah, anyway, don't look affected, just act as if your arousal circuits have been shut off. Yeah. Themes and main ideas from 1 to 17. The attraction circuits of women are calibrated to find a man attractive, not measured primarily by handsomeness or physique, but rather by social value. Social value. I want to point out social value. We are hardwired to seek alignment with high-value people. The Venusian art uses emotional stimulation instead of rational discourse, which just makes sense because we are all irrational. The Venusian artist must always be leading the interaction. If not, it's not a good thing. A woman's number one emotional priority is safety and security. Be a fun and playful person. Women are attracted to fun and stimulation, which just makes sense. If you're providing safety and security, which is, I think, also than financially wise, I guess. Safety in terms of you are probably not aggressive and you seem to be a nice person, I guess, I assume, but also being a fun person and knowing that it is fun to be around you and that it is nice to be around you and stuff like that. So yeah, no matter what happens, it's no big deal, which is the 7th point. The 8th is a good pickup artist believes that the most fun and valuable spot in the field is his own. The 9th, ground theory, woman of quality tends to be found in groups and rarely if ever alone. The 10th, be talkative, always have something to talk about, get into a talkative mood and practice talking to everyone. Which is, I think, a very important skill to have, being able to talk to people, and it is something that I'm working on as well, actually. Role reversal, one of the best frames to use, and should be your reality, is that you are a higher value and she is chasing you. So it is, I think, initially only about, only just thinking about it, I guess. I mean, just keeping that in mind and believing that. But I also do have to say, you shouldn't be a cocky bastard. You shouldn't be arrogant. But I think confidence is a very big thing. I know that you are an amazing person. I know that you are very special. And I know that you're capable of things that some people are not capable of. Be happy. I do think, and I believe, and I've kind of seen it as well in very recent times, that confidence does something to my happiness. If I feel like, well, nobody can do anything to me, I'm me sitting in a train being like, wow, I'm just gonna do my shit. I'm gonna work on my craft. I'm gonna edit the videos. I don't fucking care whether somebody is just, even though it is something that pisses me off, that looks into my PC and just trying to figure out what I'm doing and stuff like that. But my number one rule basically is being a nice person. This doesn't mean that you should really get into everyone's assholes and just really do everything for them, but it just is being nice. It is, you can be confident. You can even be arrogant, but still be a nice person. Still have this vulnerability of being nice, because sometimes people don't have that, which is a little bit of a pity. Use IOIs and IODs and other push-pull, hot-cold dynamics to create tension, build comfort, and demonstrate value. Guys with game create a natural flow of Kino. The 14th, commonality. People tend to be more attractive to those they consider to be similar to them in some way. The 15th, when people share vulnerabilities, it demonstrates and creates an emotional connection. The secret is to embrace your vulnerability and still be unaffected by it. The 16th, people are willing to work harder to preserve an existing investment than they are to make a new one. And the last and 17th one is the game is played in comfort. It's necessary to develop a wide conversation report. With that being said, I'm actually going to end this episode here. So it is 10 a.m. now. I'm going to record the other one. I try to really be effective right now with my time and what I have available today. And so yeah, I wish you best health, happiness, and all success, and also hope that you're going to write yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, basically means just being a nice person and then being remembered as a nice person as well, which is a very important fact, a very important thing to consider and to think about. And yeah. 3 questions that I have for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change and what is bothering you the most? Yeah, this question could lead you to figuring out your purpose and many more things that are quite of importance and cool. And yeah. One other question that I have for you is: what could you say that is really going to change somebody's life and that is really going to change how somebody perceives life and whatnot? So yeah. And what we're going to see the next time. Please stay healthy and safe, and bye-bye. Bye-bye.